welcome to week 2 of Goretober. It's definitely been a week. I've been really enjoying these last couple of prompts, this week, and last week's video seemed to have done pretty well. So here I am again. I'm probably gonna be posting these regardless of, reception to the videos because I have fun making these. And it gets me a little bit more used to doing these kind of like long form types of videos. Because I do need to get used to making those. If I want to start making more long form content, I'm gonna have to start getting used to, you know, actually making these videos. Really what I wanted to do this time is I'm including last Saturday, so instead of there being 6 prompts we go over, there's now 7 prompts. And that's mainly because I can't really fit both making this video and posting it on Saturday while also doing Saturday's prompt, so I'm kind of making it so it goes from last Saturday to this, current Friday. So that's kind of what we're gonna end up going through. It's been a fun week. I went off prompt maybe once, maybe twice. Most likely only once. But I had a lot of fun with this one, and I'm very slowly getting into the whole prompt list again. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the first one. So day 7 was gut spill, and I kind of went on a different route during this. I kind of went full, like, if anyone has seen Happy Tree Friends, you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about with the guts and spilling out through the mouth instead of like them being cut up and pulled out. Because I kind of already did that with the autopsy prompt of last week. So I kind of went for a more like disturbing version. What helped me really get into the mindset for this one, actually, I was watching Ritual, The Ritual, amazing horror film, with my partner, and essentially everyone who dies from the Norse god that, the movie's about, it's not about, the one thing that everyone loves to call anything supernatural that involves a deer. It is about one of Loki's children. Everyone gets that wrong for some reason, despite it being said in the film, but yeah. They basically get impaled on a tree and their guts are everywhere. But, so, yeah. I kind of went with that whole, like, it's coming out of his mouth. It's not a fun experience. It would not be a fun experience. He would be dead in an instant, but, you know, it's gory, it's fun. It adds to it. So, I love how this ended up, except for the posing. I'm not happy with how the posing ended up turning out, and it does feel a little dark to really see what's going on, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. It is disturbing, and that's mainly what I try to go for in these, is just gross and disturbing and gory. Day 8 was crystals, and I didn't really know what to do. I don't often draw crystals, so I kind of just went with, okay, they're coming out of his eye, and let's just put crystals anywhere we can. Which ended up not just being crystals coming out of his shoulder and face, but having a geode, like, kind of coming out through the skin, like a growth or something. Like, all of these kind of went with the growth thing, and I did try to find, like, something to make it a little easier, because I'm not really great with drawing straight lines, but none of the brushes that I found on the asset store really helped, until I found a material, brush, well, not a brush, but a material asset, and you'll see that a little bit when I'm going into texture the crystals, but I didn't really go for anything too specific on what each crystal was. I probably could have and gone a little bit into like different crystals and what they mean and stuff, but I was running short on time for this one, so I just kind of went with it. But yeah, as you can see, I used a lot of, like, material brushes for the crystals to kind of make them a little bit more textured and look like crystals, because I'm really bad at drawing crystals. But so it's definitely some really fun practice to work on. I kind of wish that I had found a way to make it a little bit more, like, noticeable, all the textures and stuff that I added into the crystals, without it, like, overwhelming it and making it so you can't really see anything else other than the crystals. But for what it turned out to be, I'm pretty happy with. I think I could have done a little bit different, but it still was fun. So remember when I said I went a little bit off prompt in one of these? This would definitely be it. So this was day 9. It was the prompt was poisoned, and I ended up going with a more toxic kind of vibe for it. I can't escape that one drawing that I did of gold with the blue toxic goop corroding him. I can't escape that one. It ends up being in everything that has to do with this. I couldn't get a good feel for how I was gonna do a, like, poison look. I tried to go for, like, a very, like, rabies kind of look for it, but I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't get the foaming to look right. So I ended up just going kind of off the rails, while still trying to make it kind of look like he was poisoned, but like an acidic kind of poisoning. I don't know. I think it looks really cool. It's definitely not following prompt though, unfortunately. I wish I could have really figured out how to make it stay on prompt while still having it have this kind of look to it, but either way, I really like how it turned out regardless. I like drawing glowy gore. I very much like drawing glowy gore. It's so much fun. This one, I definitely, as I said before, wish that I had done a little differently to follow it more in line with the prompt. But, oh my god, does it look so good! Other than it not really following the prompt, it definitely adds a nice little bit of color that was needed to this specific set. Day 10 was Hanahaki disease, and if you don't know what that is, it's essentially a fictional disease that originated in Japan, where if you do not receive love back, you start growing flowers in your lungs and start coughing them up, and at a certain point, it's untreatable, so you either find the person who you have unrequited love with, and they get with you and it's non-unrequited, or you surgically remove them and can never feel love again. So I kind of went with that and ran. I don't remember the flowers that, I used and the symbolism behind them, but it was a bunch of, like, unrequited love type things. I think I used, acacia yellow flowers, and I don't remember what the other one was. I think it might have been, cry flower or something like that. Something like that. But I ended up adding the, gardening shears to add a little bit extra gore, to kind of, like, look like he's about to do the surgery to remove it himself, just because he's in that much pain. I really like how I ended up doing that, though. So, because this is a prompt, and not just a prompt, but a concept I've done in the past multiple times, I'm very familiar with how this one works, and I think that it really did aid that. I think adding in the shears was a nice little element to kind of up the ante a little bit and make it so it wasn't more of like a tragic kind of goal, but more so like a desperation kind of goal, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm spitballing here. Day 11 was insects, and I had so much fun with this prompt. The entire time I was working on this prompt, me and my partner were watching Akira, which is all about body horror, and I ended up just running with that. And originally I was gonna try and do like a praying mantis type of mouth, but his like mouth was kind of doing the thing, and I ended up going more with like this like almost alien type of insect look, where he has multiple different pincher type mandible things and has the little mandible thingies crawling out of the behind his jaw. In the end, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I struggled a little bit with some of the like proportions and stuff with the body, but other than that, I was really happy with how this turned out, because it looks so creepy. I had a lot of fun working on this while I was watching horror. I really think that I need to start incorporating watching horror into while I'm doing these drawings a little bit more, because it really does help me get into that mindset of the horror and the creepy, and really making that work well. I really love how this turned out. It is so disturbing and so beautiful in all the right ways. It truly looks like it comes out of something like John Carpenter's The Thing or something. It is just, You look at this and you think, oh, his head is about to pop off and scurry along the fucking floor or something. It's so creepy. I love it. I really love how it turned out. So, day 12 was bruised, and I didn't really know how to make this super gory. I've drawn bruises a lot. I love drawing bruises. It's one of my favorite things to draw, is because you can really get in there and really texture it and color it and do all that discoloration while mixing in a bunch of other colors. Like, you can mix in, like, purples and greens and reds, all to make it look bruised and discolored, and you can do it in different ways. So, say an older bruise, you'd go more into the yellow and the green than you would with the purple and the red, and it's such a complicated but intriguing thing to do, is to make bruises look like bruises. And I started using this new brush that I got that's specifically made for, like, galaxies and stuff, where it has that, like, a very much veiny kind of texture to it, which I think worked very well with bruises. And I decided to add in, like, some unwrapped bandages over his neck to kind of add a little bit more of the blood aspect to it, besides, like, all the scratches and stuff. But I feel like I ended up making it too dark and harder to see the bruises, and you can really see that in the lighting especially, where it's just, you can't really see the bruising all that well, unfortunately. I definitely think if I didn't shade it as dark as I did, the bruises would stand out a little more. But as it is, I still think that it works really well, especially in line with the prompt, because it adds this little level to it where it's like, okay, well, his neck is clearly covered up, and it's very much darker. What the fuck happened to his neck? It leaves you more to imagine how bad the bruising is, more than anything. Day 13 was stitches, and we kind of got to go back in time a little bit with this one. And again, as I said earlier, we're going to be going through 7 prompts instead of 6. But I had fun with this one. It's not often I get to draw gold, really just in the moment doing something horrific and seemingly enjoying it. I haven't really done things like that since, like, 2018 and before that, like, between 2016 and 2018, and actually in 2016 I did a drawing very similar to this, where, he was covered in stitches and just was kind of chilling out about it. So I kind of I had a little bit of a homage to that, and that image just kind of in my head as I was working on it. And I kind of made it so that certain parts of his skin was a little discolored, like he's been kind of rotting almost, like the skin has been rotting and stuff. And I ended up giving him the wraith eyes, just kind of symbolize that he's not all entirely there, that he doesn't normally do this kind of stuff. It's very much self-inflicted, but not in the same way that he's conscious about it, if that makes any sense. Again, very gory. I very much liked how this one turned out. This is definitely one of my favorites of this week. I think, between this one and day, what was it? Day 11. This one is one of my favorites. I really think that if I had kind of done at least the string part a little differently, because I ended up doing it on the same layer as the line art, it made it a little bit less noticeable and harder to really do, but yeah. Here are all of our prompts, our finished prompts. I couldn't do it in the same way that I did in the last video since there was 7. And the editing program that I use doesn't have a split screen thing for 7, unfortunately. But yeah, I definitely had a lot more fun this week with these, and I'm definitely getting more into the groove of it all. And the next couple ones are a lot of fun. We only have 2 more weeks, and that's kind of crazy to me. It's weird to think that there's only like 2 more weeks of Goretober, and I've managed to get through 2 weeks already. So I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, but the last couple times I've done Goretober, I haven't really gone through them. I think the longest I've gone through is to about this point, and that was back in 2017. So yeah, I'm really glad that I'm managing to keep this up, and I'm excited to see how the next 2 weeks will go. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys!